I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sex.
There's something that makes Yamaha's 2026 Aragon test feel completely different. After repeatedly tweaking the V4's character, Yamaha has finally brought in an 850 cubic centimeters engine that they say is starting to respond to TOPRAK Razgatlioglu's riding style. And if this test data truly reflects what's seen on the track, Yamaha may have just found the missing piece of the puzzle. TOPRAK is known for his boldness in braking deeply, aggressively bringing the bike to the apex, and then opening the throttle as quickly as possible. But during the V4 development process, the bike's character hadn't fully embraced that style. Now, at Aragon, major changes are starting to emerge. The bike feels more controlled, its responses are more natural, and TOPRAK is starting to attack corners in his trademark way. What's more surprising is that these changes aren't just about more power. Yamaha seems to have understood that TOPRAK needs an engine that's manageable under extreme braking, stable when leaning, and still provides strong traction when exiting corners. If all these pieces finally work together, Yamaha's 850 cubic centimeters V4 could go from a questionable project to a serious threat. The question now is, has Yamaha finally managed to create an 850 cubic centimeters V4 that's truly built for TOPRAK? Because if what happened in Aragon was no fluke, then this latest test could be the beginning of a major shift for Yamaha, heading into a new era with TOPRAK Razgatlioglu. And here's the full news. There was something different about Yamaha in the latest test at Aragon 2026. After undergoing various tests and evaluations, the 850 cubic centimeters V4 engine began to show a character that was much more suited to TOPRAK Razgatlioglu's riding style. It wasn't just about straight-line speed, but also how the bike responded when TOPRAK began attacking braking and entering corners with his signature aggressiveness. One of Yamaha's biggest challenges so far has been making the V4's character truly blend with TOPRAK's riding style. The Turkish rider is known for his strength under hard braking, maximizing corner entry speed, and then lifting the bike as quickly as possible to gain acceleration. Therefore, small changes to the engine's character, engine braking, electronics, and even chassis balance can make a huge difference. And at Aragon, those changes began to be apparent. TOPRAK reportedly experienced a more natural feel from the bike. The engine's response when opening the throttle felt easier to control, while the bike's behavior when entering corners began to instill greater confidence. This was crucial because TOPRAK needed not only a fast engine, but a bike that could adapt to every change in his riding style. Interestingly, Yamaha's focus this time isn't just on maximizing power. The development focus seems to be more focused on how the 850 cubic centimeters V4's power is transmitted to the asphalt. When a rider exits a corner, overly aggressive power can actually cause the rear tire to lose traction. Conversely, if the response is too soft, TOPRAK will lose his advantage during acceleration. That's why Aragon is such a crucial test. The Aragon circuit's characteristics offer a combination of hard braking, fast corners, changes of direction, and sections that require strong acceleration. Under these conditions, Yamaha can more clearly see whether the latest V4's characteristics are truly capable of meeting TOPRAK's needs. And herein lies the big question. Has Yamaha finally found the formula they've been searching for? TOPRAK himself is not a rider who is easily satisfied. If something doesn't suit his riding style, he immediately feels it. Even small changes in engine braking or throttle response can affect how he handles the bike into corners. Therefore, when the bike starts to feel easier to control, the impact can be significant on overall performance. One of the most interesting areas is braking. TOPRAK has an uncanny ability to carry more speed deep into the track before ultimately changing direction. If the 850 cubic centimeters V4's characteristics can provide stability during this phase, TOPRAK could regain one of his greatest weapons. However, this doesn't mean all of YAMAHA'S problems are automatically solved. In fact, tests like the one in Aragon are used to discover the true limits of the new package. YAMAHA still needs to understand how the bike performs under various tire conditions, temperatures, electronics, and setup changes. What feels good in one session doesn't necessarily translate into a permanent solution. But there's one thing that makes this development interesting. YAMAHA seems to be building the bike not just around the engine's character, but around the rider's needs. And if the 850 cubic centimeters V4 truly suits TOPRAK's style, then YAMAHA's development direction could undergo a major change. An engine previously considered in need of significant adjustment is now starting to show potential as a more serious weapon. Furthermore, TOPRAK doesn't just need top speed. He needs a bike that allows him to brake late, maintain control mid-corner, and then gain strong traction on corner exit. If these three things start working together, TOPRAK's performance could change drastically. The 2026 Aragon test is therefore not just a test of a new engine. It's a process of finding a new identity for YAMAHA with TOPRAK. And what's most interesting is how YAMAHA will translate the data from Aragon into the next test. If the engineers manage to maintain these positive characteristics while improving acceleration and stability, then the 850 cubic centimeters V4 could be a much more dangerous project than expected. Imagine if TOPRAK finally gets a bike that truly suits his riding style. The bike has the engine response he wants. He can control engine braking. The front end gives him confidence under braking. The rear tire still has traction when the throttle is opened. And the whole package works to suit his aggressive style. If that truly happens, then we might be witnessing a turning point for YAMAHA. It's no longer just a rider trying to adapt to the bike's character, but a YAMAHA bike that is starting to be shaped to suit the character of the bike, TOPRAK. And Aragon 2026 could be a crucial step in that process. So, does YAMAHA's 850 cubic centimeters V4 finally suit TOPRAK? The answer may not be clear from just one test session. But the signs are starting to show. If this consistent performance is seen again in the next test, YAMAHA will have good reason to believe they are starting to find the right direction. And if the combination of TOPRAK and the 850 cubic centimeters V4 finally finds its sweet spot, don't be surprised if YAMAHA's future performance changes much more quickly than expected. Because when the right machine meets the right rider, the results can be devastating for the entire competition. Aragon could be just the beginning.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.